Day. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larissa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. And here on this show, I'm sharing with you different tips, methods, tools, motivation, and inspiration. How can you create success in all areas of your life? And often I am inviting a different amazing guests to my show. And today I have an amazing special guest, Inaya Oakroot. She is an amazing paradigm shifter. She is the woman that can share with you different tips of how you can create your leadership so that you can lead your life with all of your genius, inner talents, rather than just obtained skills. So Inaya started to be looking at the art, at the art at the age of 5, when she was 5, and she really started to express herself in her adult life as well through the lenses of the creativity. And at the age of 14, she became a tennis coach. She'd been coaching a number of very high level tennis players for the high level of competitions, and also children from 5 to 60 years old. Then by the age of 40, she actually changed her direction, and she became a consultant, board member, and a creator of educational programs for the corporate and public sector. So she was also been the owner and creator of the refugee camp, and that's where her focus started to be shifted, because she started to be faced with the trauma, war, separation, death, loss, and all sort of suffering and pain. So for the last 8 years, she actually dedicated herself into the healing arts, sound healing, energy healing, and specializing in the Akashic records and plus shamanic studies and practices through energy medicine. And here she is, Inaya Oakroot. I can hear some echoing here. I'm not sure. If anyone listening, can you please tell me if the quality of what you're hearing is okay, or you having some echoing? Because I believe I did change something in my studio setup today, or possibly it is because the technology that connects us together from different countries, because Inaya is from Sweden.
Sweden,
Right?
yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Inaya, to accepting my invitation and being a special guest today with me. I really would like to give the floor to you, and basically, can you start to tell me, or everyone, how did your journey started? Because having the identify yourself with a paradigm shift is a really, really good point to start. And also, the name of our topic today is divine duality. So I really would like you to maybe start from the beginning, where all of these ideas come from, and how did you start to get that gift of your creativity and express it in a way that you actually touch in the hearts of many. You write 3 books. So I'm going to later on show Inaya's contacts, so that you can actually know more about Inaya and really connect with her. So Inaya, please start to tell us your story.
Thank you so much. And first of all, you have no echo. It's a beautiful sound. Yes. Well, our journey, of course, start in our ground family. And my father and mother was having so much different opinions about the world, and so much a different worldview. And as a second child, I was always balancing them. So I think it's my start to get into divine duality. Divine duality is when 2 counterparts start to match and merge, come closer and closer to each other, and open up a new screen that we didn't realize in our old paradigm shift. Our old paradigm shift, has taught us that there is a split from source. And from that, we have a split between our soul and our personal self, with our leaders and the participants. Everything in life has been separated from one ground worldview. And in my expression of divine duality, I believe that source is a consciousness that wanted to explore itself and expand it. Instead of splitting into two, it's an expanding field, and it makes a triangle that is filled with all that is. So, in the expression of duality, two counterparts play out. In the integration in the middle, there is love, because love is source. Love is all there is. And when two counterparts come, instead of fighting each other, come to a point where they narrow each other, they start to be a potential field to create in. And so that is divine duality. And my first book, This Creative Existence, Unfolding a New Conscious World, it's all about, I wrote it between 2012 and 2015, and it's all about already then what will happen with our cultures, with our communities, that they will fall, that they will collapse. And now we see it as something that is really, we don't know how to handle it, but actually it has when this comes, it makes gaps for everything to evolve. Our pure potential that was locked in those rules, that was only taboos to make people locked in place. So actually, everything that happens now, it's a path to divine duality. That's what I.
Wow, that's a really, really beautiful perception of the duality, and how the duality is actually guiding us through all of these different distortions, and from all of these traumatic events and spaces that we all hold in our bodies. So we basically are now in a space where the duality is actually holding us together. That's how I see it, and it is a very motivational factor that we need to look at, because I know that duality is really looked by many people as a negative, as a connotation of some kind of sorts. Yes, and it is. I mean, it is a separation. It is a description of the separation, but that's what it is for, to actually unite us. This is the passage to unity.
Yes.
So, and yeah, I would like to really expand on it. And I know you started already touching on a shifting worldview of duality, and that's what you already started to describe. And you name it a beautiful divine duality. And what do you do? Like, I know you're working with the corporate leaders, and what really is that united principles or the methods that you use to really help them?
First of all, I work very metaphysic, in the area that people can meet, the area where everything is one. So it's so different when I work with different countries and different communities, because they have um, their own soul. Everything is so. I can't say that I have a general tool, but the tool is really to myself be in love with them and what the expressions of life, and to be very authentic and to be present in the moment, catching up what happens. So I believe also, when we are very much in the present, in the here and now, we can really feel our potential, in another way than we have done, but we have been so scheduled to be in one identity and to fill up some area of expectations. And when I work with people, I loosen up all these expectations and identification into an area of experience instead,
That's
experience the
it.
here and now.
This is really, really, really important because, of
Mhm.
course, when we are being indoctrinated or we've been educated, and our modern society is actually have this, I would say, matrix that pull us into that success race, and a lot of even in new leadership that is now developing, even in new perceptions that are developing in people, it is still going into that commercialized path, and that's really, you can feel and see how and where we are still kind of trying to catch up with that shift, the paradigm that is now the divine duality is actually guiding us through. And of course, I understand what you're talking about, different energy containers that different people create, and we as a facilitators just need to be present with what is there
Mm.
among this group of people.
Yeah.
And
And
yes,
it, yeah, and if you just start collaborate in another field that they usually are in, as just making a dinner together, people start to meet in as a as as person curious of each other, and there one can move them into their field of success from
yes,
from the point where they meet beyond their normal place.
absolutely, absolutely. Because there is united
Yeah.
energy place where we all one and the same, and we all have the same emotions, we all have the same feelings, and it's that sometimes quite challenging, especially for a very successful people, to actually be present in that kind of space. It is a little confronting. It is scary for them to actually be in that space. How do you deal with these kind of things? And like I know that you implementing your creativity in a different dimensions, in a different fields of excellence. How does that look really? I mean, I know, but that it is that we actually hold within ourselves. But again, it sometimes it can be quite challenging.
Yeah. Well, of course, in my retreats, people are open for that. There exists so many different dimensions. So it's just to open up to make them live the consciousness of the different dimensions, and then it's very obvious that you don't have to be in the drama of word, but you can see it, and you can act and manifest in the 3D word, and be anchored so deep in the word, so that your manifestations really happens, and still have your overview and see what's really is going on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
to be uh, aware of the different dimensions, it's make us very calm, very
Mhm.
calm. And I
Simply.
use yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Go.
I in the retreats, I also, it's a very important part. It's the sounds, because
Mhm.
in the start of existence, sound is everything. And
Mhm.
when we can harmonize together, and when we can harmonize our body, we can heal, and we can reach the points that also we want to let go of. And sound is so important. When I heal, I use undertones to scan the body, and one can see, the sound comes different when there are some distortions, some trauma in the body, and there I heal it with sound. And the body, when the body gets free, our mind gets free.
Sure.
So
And that's the, yes.
how people are open.
It's amazing because we have different approaches. Because I'm a healer as well. I was studying at one of the premier healing school that Barbara Brennan School of Healing. I don't know if you ever heard about that. So I'm a graduate of this school, and we of course use the multi-dimensional nature of the human also to access different fields of the human energy consciousness system, and that we assist in using different techniques and things also. Plus we can use the sound healing, but I'm personally myself use it very rare. But anyway, it's like all the healing is about to access that that essence, that divine spark, that co-star that we all have, and we ever had it before, we have it, and we will have always, because this is unchangeable, undeniable, and this is who we really are. Right.
Right.
So and you also been as you mentioned, you've been writing some various books. So you had about 3 or 4 books. Would you be able to share with us what's these books about, and are they like connected books of one story, or it is a little different, different expressions?
Well, the books are all channeled, and they are all in the field of this paradigm shift. And the first book took 3 years to write, and it leveled down everything to a new consciousness for myself when writing. So I can really
I can relate, because this is a
write
journey.
books.
Yeah, this is a journey. When we write books, we actually do in a process.
Yeah.
Whatever time it will take, a year or 2, we go through each paragraph together with the book. We do the inner process. I'm now in the process of doing it. I mean, I'm almost finishing my first book. It will come out very soon, in 3 months time, 3-4 months time. I'm really excited, but that's what I'm feeling like. This is the great tool for inner process. And when I have my inner process, I am inviting my readers to have that same inner process. And so what's the names of your book, please?
My first book is This Creative Existence, Unfolding a New Conscious World. And the next one, it came out 2016, and then 2018 I wrote Dream State, where you create your life. And now, a year ago or half a year ago, my third book was already here, and it's Unfold, Awakening to your pure consciousness.
And
Yeah.
I actually looked at it, and it is number one best-selling book. So guys, look and check it up. I'm going to right now put the Inaya's website. So please go and check it out, because that's a very, very interesting website there. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and also you can purchase the book there. So Inaya is an amazing creator. She is a true paradigm shifter. She is going through all of her inner process and healing herself, and she's sharing, because this is a hard call, right? We cannot not do it, right?
No, and really, it has to start with ourselves. We cannot teach anything if we are not healing it in ourselves. And the 2 first books, it was the message was so clear that I have to go to the readers subconscious before, with the pictures and the photos, with the beauty, to make the body get into that the content before the brain.
Yeah.
So it's not like you go there and watch something from outside, but really becoming the
Yes.
content. And it's
Mhm.
important, I think, because we are so taught to analyze and go into it with our brain, but the brain can only understand what we already knew from the past or what's logic. It can
Yes.
never jump to a new reality.
Absolutely, because the mind is
Yeah.
a tool to actually, and again, the methods of our education, like we memorizing things, like, and the tool is very limited, really. In reality, we just dealing with problems. And the mind is putting a lot of barriers for
Mm,
us to actually just open up and get shift into that new paradigm of
yeah.
oneness, of
Well,
that consciousness.
yeah, our mind is such a skilled, uh, a laser to focus on things, to make uh, materializations, but without being connecting in the field of our body and our heart, it just creates something that is, it's artificial, that
That's
is
it.
not connected to the evolution, not connected to the real materialization. It creates both shadow and light. When we create with our mind, without being in our heart and body, actually what we create, it's both the bad from it for ourselves and the good, and we become the not the inverted duality. So
Absolutely.
that's what we have done, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's great separation of the mind and the heart, and the body. It feels that separation, and that's why we suffer physically,
Yeah,
emotionally, mentally, psychologically, because there's a great separation, and because we constantly functioning from that artificial scholastic mind that
yeah,
is following some external passages of the success, and we kind of live in a world of the endorsements and approvals and acceptance, and very often we don't accept ourselves. That the most severe critique is ourselves, and that's what really is not giving us the chance to connect in oneness, to gather all of these dimensions
yeah,
that we are, and have that energy consciousness system as a fundamental grounded presence that
mm.
can create, right? So I
Yeah,
love what you've been doing, and with your books, I'm going to purchase myself
oh yeah.
all your books and read. So I also would like to really maybe ask you and expand on your experience when you've been created a refugee camp. How did you come up with that idea, and how and when it was happening, and how does that affect you? Like, what's the impact on you?
Mm. First of all, I will just reflect on what you said before
Mhm.
about the brain, because in our third dimension, it's the first place where our consciousness is divided in mind, heart, and body. If we go up to the fifth dimension, they are all connected. So that's why it's so important to be able to go in the different dimensions,
Mhm.
because here, when they are not when they are divided, it's also such an opportunity to create that we don't have when they are connected. When they are
Mhm.
connected, you can't, you know, improvise things and get from your heart and do it with your mind. You are totally integrated there. But here in the third dimension, we can create such manifestations that we couldn't without being in through the word, but knowing how to connect the dimensions. Okay, now I go into the refugee camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually it's just as life, it seems to be coincidences. I have been traveling all over the world to understand who I am and where I belong to, because I didn't feel like Sweden, not as my family. So I had really to understand how is it that I'm here. You know?
Yes. Why
Yeah.
did I land it here, right?
And I didn't travel in the inner Africa or in the Arab states, but all the other world, I think, you know, not every country, of course, but really have been in the
Different
areas
culture.
of different cultures. And then in 2012, uh, my husband became an owner of a youth hostel, a big youth hostel. And then 2013, there come to be so many wars in the world, and so much contradictions. And this Swedish government opened up for taking in so many refugees. So we applied to have a refugee camp, and our place could have 84 persons. Uh, so we had that, and a place, a restaurant in the place, and we just, you know, had others making the restaurant work and everything that like that. But for us, it was to make it a place of a family, a big family. And 2015, the war increased in Syria, and there were so many people coming. So in this place where it all already was quite crowded with 84 person, we had 132 person, and for from 14 countries,
Wow.
14 different countries. And the one that came was about the ones that I didn't come to when I was traveling. So it's like putting it everything together. And in Sweden, there are so little about religion. It's like taboo to speak about religion. It's all about science in Sweden. So there I had the opportunity to speak about religion, about beliefs, and all the things that we don't speak so much about in Sweden. And I think because they all came with families, or many of them came with families, and I love children, and they always came to the reception to play with me, and you know, paint and do things and everything. And I feel that that made, with also having firm rules and always hugging them and helping them as equal everyone, I feel that that was really the concept to make it a family, even though people were coming and going so much, you know, and there were always, you know, when new people came, the one who stayed there, even if it was in the middle of the night, they came there and helped them with the luggage, and you know, welcomed them. So it was a wonderful place for 4 years, and then
Wow.
the migration just entered having these kind of camps. Yeah.
Right. Wow. But that's a very rich experience.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah, that's really
Mm.
enrich you as a, creator as well. And also, yeah, it's amazing, amazing.
Thank you
So
for asking it. I'm so happy to just come back to the here now.
yeah, have back
You,
that memories and shower yourself with these experiences. It's quite nice sometimes to go back and really remember and recall all of these experiences in our life. And because we hold it all, we have this amazing energy consciousness system that is holding everything that the humanity went through and gonna to go through. It's all there. It's only that we need to really listen ourselves, and it's through meditation possibly, or through some kind of quietness. We need to
mm,
get our minds a little quieter, because it's always yapping at the background about that, criticizing, I'm not good enough, I'm not, that enough or something, right?
Mm.
So, um, yeah. Now, I would like to really ask you another question about your shamanic experience as well, because you named here that you had some shamanic studies, and also the Energy Medicine Institute. What does that comprise of? And can you just go through that?
Yeah, I briefly can. Well, every morning I have a daily practice to just open up for all the dimensions, for the six angles, like the four elements, and the upper word and the lower word, and to be connected and centered. And what it is, it's really so much more than the elements, of course. Uh, it it is to be a healer with the herbs and the essences of energies, and also that is, to be healing with another um, dimension than the one that we don't see, because it's so close to ourselves. And when I do my daily practice, it's so wonderful, because when I open up to east, so many guides come that way, come in from east. And when I open up to south, these guides that I have coming in from south. And it's so obvious that the earth has four gateways,
Absolutely.
for the guides to come in. And when
Hmm.
we open up to the elements, we also uh, open up to our ableness to be in service in the world,
Hmm.
because they can
Hmm.
work through us, and we can be safe, feeling that we are not alone, not at all alone.
No, never, ever. Yeah, we
Uh,
become an instrument
yeah,
for this energy to, but
yeah,
we need to be willing to be a instrument, because the instruments needs to be tuned into the absolute unconditional love
mm,
frequency, so that we can actually assist others. And yeah, it's amazing journey that we all are now going through. And don't you really doubt yourself that you are somehow not enough, or you somehow not that in this and wherever. It's like just ground yourself, and start to listen your inner call, your inner voice, your inner sounds, right? Because when we only can hear it when we in stillness.
yeah. But the healing is, well, yeah, and it's not such a small thing. Of course, we have so many layers of genetics. We have so many layers of karmic experiences, and all those makes our perception of life. And without knowing it, we are- we have different portals that we need to sort out to be open for the love to ourselves, because that's the main thing, of course.
Yeah.
So the healing, the art of healing, is such an amazing thing, to make this field around us to be more and more clear, to be our authentic self that we are originally, start as a seed from source to become.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, Inaya. It's beautiful. I really would like you to maybe share with you what people that are still in the doubts, these people that are still in fearful field, people that are still emotionally reacting on everything that is happening externally outside from their own lives, and they spending their valuable energy and their valuable time to actually support that they don't like, right? So
Yeah.
what you can recommend to these people just 3 tips that you can maybe share of
Yeah.
how they can
Well,
center on
yeah, we
themselves.
are all original souls with our very, different needs. But of course, the first thing is to ground. The first thing is to ground. To It makes us so much more safe if we can go barefoot in the nature, if we can work with gardening, if we can, swim inside Mother Earth with our in the sea. Everything of that is like just lying in the sand, taking in the sun. Everything that is landing our body to be in the electric field of Earth, it's make us so much more less vulnerable, and
Mhm.
not being too much inside and in the computer world. But we have to be there also. But I think it's a lot of also knowing how to open ourselves and close ourselves. That we are when we go into a field of maybe where we don't really belong, but we have think we have to be to make money and everything, to close our crown chakra and just work there as a person, with your all your skills, and then take a break and open up your crown and take in the source energy if you can. And there are so many practices to help us to get into the motion of the body. you know the I don't think I will say 3 top things, but grounding, knowing how to open and close ourselves, and giving ourselves self love as much as we can, bit by bit, giving us the opportunity to say yes to oneself, to do it. Um, what anyway, when I had been in very, very hard situations, I knew that if I get like some, like my brain is waving up and I get like, I can't stand being here. It's so good to have something really physical. That's why,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah,
you know, to go out running, to do something that makes the physic take out the psychic and balancing it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Great tips, great tips. I mean, we really need to start to think that our self-care is actually expression of our self-love. It's not just simply go to the gym or do some other stuff. It's an expression of love. And please, you can do as little as 10 minutes a day to
Mhm.
actually support yourself through these different little techniques. There's so many techniques right now. There's no excuse for people now saying, well, I don't know how. It's only that we need to start to consciously choose these activities and help ourselves, because we're going through that transformation. And everyone, if you're aware of it or not, you going through that transformation too,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
that,
I
and then,
think. Oh, sorry.
yes, no, you go.
And 2 things is to the first way, first doing in the morning is to do something that operates your mind and soul into the here and now of appreciation.
That's it.
Uh,
Gratitude. Yep.
Gratitude, and do some, take your time, as you say, Larissa, just 5 minutes to open up your body, to maybe have some affirmation for the day, and
Mhm.
ending the day with just going through the good things of the day, because you it's like starting to bring up your new life with seeing the good
Absolutely.
things that have happened, and just make them, your new step for next time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Well, you see, it's like when you start to get to this space of really listening yourself and honoring yourself, very slowly you start to reprogram that separation, and
mm,
that unity start to get into, and then you finally will find yourself in these waves of life, not like this, excitement and collapsing, but it's gonna be really soft, flowing through life that will assist you in constructive thinking. It will assist you in, yes, being grounded, and also your creativity, that talent, that inner genius of you will start to come up. You would be amazed of what ability and capability you have. So
yeah,
that's how we can, find that ourselves,
yeah.
right?
It's so funny. One thing that I actually close to always did when I or do when I work with organizations, they start early in the morning, not very early, but maybe 9 a.m. And then I just ask them to tell the three biggest peaks this morning.
Yes.
And people get so shocked, they feel like I didn't climb Kebnekaise, I didn't,
Yes.
because people just feel the big, big, big events. But then when they start to chat with each other about that three peaks in the morning, they say, oh, yes, that stream of light. Oh, my husband said that, or my child. And that it's all brighten up because we have peaks that we can
Yes,
celebrate so much.
absolutely.
It's just pass if we don't celebrate them.
We don't notice them when we are actually in a restless mind, because the
Yeah,
mind is always taking us in the front, in in the future, or taking us in the past and
yeah,
criticizing and saying, I should have done that or not
yeah,
that. And we're missing out so much when we're
yeah,
not in the present moment, right?
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Inaya, that's that beautiful conversation. I really, we could spend another hour or two to talk about all of these different, little tips and little, inspirational and motivational things that we use in ourselves, and we teach in our students about that. So, but I think we probably wind up now with our talk, and I really would like again to place your website on a screen, and really, guys, go and check it out. I love the outlook of that website, because it really calms me down straight away from even the colors, all the the calmness, and also the a very small amount of information. I like it because it's clean, it's sharp, it's really up to the point, and that really is calming down effect, because it is not a lot of information straight up into your face. So you calming down straight away when you open the website like that, and it's really really very healing website, I would say. So
All
yeah.
my love and gratitude to you, Larissa, and thank you for bringing me here, and thank you all who listen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And I would like to really express my gratitude for you to be in another part of the world and so early waking up for this live talk that we're having right now. It is, an honor to have you here with me. And I hope we're gonna to collaborate and get ourselves together with some sort of new creations. That would be really, really cool. Now I would like to put our little bit of music, and you stay with me behind the scenes, Inaya.